Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Before the Downbeat, a musical podcast. I am your host, Fearless Ginger. I don't know what else to describe myself as. I'm Mackenzie.
Do you remember your name?
I hope so. And you have already heard my lovely co-host and Canadian B. Arthur, director extraordinaire, Autumn Smith.
Hello, everyone.
We are back again for another fun episode, and this will be our third Lloyd Webber this season, as we have already done Superstar, we have done Cats, and we are now going to tackle, which is my favorite of the Lloyd Webber canon, one of, I think, his most complex scores vocally and character-wise, and that is what, Autumn?
Evita.
Evita Peron, the Santa Barnista. Do 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 do. Yes, we are now talking about the famous rock opera concept album Evita.
Yes.
So, this is one I chose. And
I would have chosen it, though.
I know.
I do like this one.
This musical is by far my favorite Lloyd Webber. As I've said, I love watching the rise and fall of Ava. And the music just captures her wonderfully. Like, she was this all-star woman, and she just comes in, and as much as I know Patti LuPone hates the fact that these score is like ridiculously stupidly high, it just captures her. It just captures this all-powerful woman of Argentina, and it has so many memorable songs that, like, choosing top 3 was like a Sophie's Choice level, where it was just there's so many rotating choices. And this is one of those few really good musicals, like A Mama Rose, where the actress who plays Ava is, like, top-notch. Like, this is a star-making performance, whether you're Patti LuPone or Elaine Page. Like, this musical is a star-turn performance, because what you have to do in this show is Madonna. You know what? As much as people give her, even Patti LuPone gives her shit for doing it, I go, even though they had to lower the keys for her, I go, filmically smart decision. And in fact, she could sing the part on her own without having it to dub. And she like, Ava comes in, is a real life person who's come in as a tour de force in her own right.
They are both incredibly self-made women.
Yes, and that's exactly it.
And opportunists,
and
climbers.
Yeah, and we will talk about the film, because I have notes all about that.
They are unrelenting in their quest.
Yes.
To be something other than what they were born to.
Absolutely.
And they both succeeded.
Yeah.
I think they're both incredible
Absolutely.
women.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We will talk about the film, because I have lots of notes on that too, because I watched a whole documentary about the making of that film, so fascinating.
Yeah.
Plot-wise, for anybody who doesn't know what Evita is, it is a musical following the life of Argentina's First Lady, Eva Perón, from her departure from her small town of Junín to her rise up the social ranks to becoming Juan Perón's partner and ultimately his wife and the First Lady of Argentina. She then helps and puppet masters Juan into remaining in power after there's been quite a bit of turmoil in the office, with many military coups, and she's able to sway the people of Argentina. And unfortunately, as in many great tragedies, just as she reaches the pinnacle of becoming, and I think she would have become, the vice president of Argentina.
Or maybe the president.
Or maybe the president.
Why be the vice?
Well, I think she understood that there's still to be a male figure in the top spot, but
which is too bad because she was actually doing the job.
Exactly. But she unfortunately gets cancer. She dies at the untimely age of 33. And the show ends with her body disappearing for 17 years. And we can get into the history of where her body went, because that's a fascinating...
Kind of a Jesus moment, isn't it?
It is.
33,
yes.
Body disappearing.
Yes, it's great. But as Autumn pointed out before we started off mic, that we've kind of covered everybody on the production. We've done their bios. We can do a quick rundown of who was who on the team. We can do a quick recap of who was on the team. We don't have to do their bios again, I don't think.
We will do a quick recap.
So who was Autumn?
This is a Lord Lloyd Webber.
Baron now. He's Baron.
Oh, he's a Baron now. It's so much easier to say Baron Lloyd Webber than Lord Lloyd Webber. Mm-hmm. That was just hard.
Yeah.
Composer extraordinaire did the music for this beast.
Mm-hmm.
The magnificent Tim Rice.
Sir Tim Rice.
Sorry, Timmy. Did the lyrics and the extraordinary, recently gone Hal Prince.
Yes.
Directed the original version.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. So,
top
three of the biggest names in musical theater came to the show. Fantastic. So that's kind of the big names of the show.
Yeah.
So production history wise,
yes.
Following Rice and Lloyd Webber's success with Joseph and Superstar, they wanted to find their next project, and they didn't feel like going back to the Bible again. They wanted to shake it up. It was Tim Rice who saw a documentary of Eva and thought it'd be a great subject matter for a musical. So good eye, Tim. Like only he could think that'd be a good idea for a show. Lloyd Webber.
Chess. There we go.
That's true, in chess.
Hilarious.
But Lloyd Webber agreed to doing it after first rejecting the idea, and instead wanted to do his first solo project, which was a musical flop called Jeeves, which is about a butler. So after that flop, people kind of went, "Oh, okay, going back to with Tim now." So they set off to a retreat on the sunny coast of France, and they wrote the show. Basically, they wrote the entire thing. They just plowed through. And when they got back, they followed their same tried and trope trends of doing a concept album. And it was Colm Wilkinson, the future original Jean Valjean, who played the Greek chorus character called Che.
What a circus, what a show. Argentina has gone to town over the death of an actress called Eva Perón. We've all gone crazy, mourning all day and mourning all night, falling over ourselves to get all of the misery right.
You had Julie Covington as Eva.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance.
And Paul Jones as Juan Perón.
Julie Covington played Eva?
In the concept album she did.
Right.
She did.
That is so true. Okay. Yeah. Great. Yes.
The album was released worldwide in Britain, Australia, South Africa, South America, and various parts of Europe. The sales of the concept album exceeded those of Superstar. Jesus Christ Superstar to be exact. But in the States, however, it never achieved the same level of success. Once again, similar to Superstar's trajectory where they catch on a little bit later. Covington's recording of Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, originally titled It's Only Your Lover Returning, so there's a weird title that was given to that song, doesn't flow off the tongue as well, was released in October 1976, and it reached number 1 on the UK singles charts and enjoyed similar success internationally. When the recording was released, Lloyd Webber sent a copy to the renowned American director Hal Prince and invited him to become involved with the eventual staging. Prince agreed, commenting, "Any opera that begins with a funeral can't be all that bad." But he advised them that he could not take on any new commitments for the next 2 years as he was doing 2 other projects with Sondheim.
Right.
So he was a bit busy at the time.
Yes.
In the meantime, though, Lloyd Webber and Rice reworked several elements of the show. Some songs were dropped and some were shortened, while others were introduced and some lyrics were rewritten. Prince eventually confirmed that he would be ready to start rehearsals in early 1978. So some of the big changes song-wise were the song The Art of the Possible was added at the direction of Hal Prince.
So good.
I don't like that one as much as what it originally replaced, which was, hold on, I wrote it down. What did it replace? The Lady's Got Potential. And it was brought back for the film version with Antonio Banderas and Madonna.
The lady's got potential, she was setting her sights on making it in movies with her naming lights. The greatest social climber since Cinderella. Okay, she couldn't act, but she had the right friends. And we all know a career depends on knowing the right fella to be stellar.
And it's more of a rock kind of like it's really kind of got a bit of a pep to it. I think you could, but I like the other one better. Either way, I get what Hal was going for with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when he began working on the project in May, as I suggested, he wanted to cut Che's rock number, The Lady's Got Potential. He requested a song to be staged to chart Perron's Rise to Power instead. So that's where The Art of the Possible came in, because it became a very clear idea of musical chairs on stage, of the rocking chairs, because that's all it was. It was just guys in rocking chairs, just do 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 do. And then Perron.
Commanders, how they sit back. And let everybody else do the work.
And then slowly but surely, Perron is the only one left.
Mm-hmm.
Rice and Webber originally only intended Che to be a Greek chorus, not as he's known in the stage version as Che Guevara.
Oh, interesting.
It was Prince who liked that idea, because in reality, Che Guevara was in Argentina at the time of Eva. He even wanted to do a pesticide license for bugs, and the government denied it, and so he left for Cuba. But that was an idea that Prince really liked, and so he kept that in the show. But when they did the film version, they got to go back to the original idea of having Che just as a Greek chorus person who's just there. And I think that still works as a great kind of just every man popping in and out of the story.
Yeah.
The original West End production starred Elaine Page as Ava after Julie Covington declined to reprise her role from the album due to her feeling she wasn't vocally up to snuff to doing that show 8 nights a week.
Who's that? Julie Covington.
Yeah. Here's a fun thing. So Prince didn't feel Colm Wilkinson was the right fit for his idea of the character of Che, which is why Colm Wilkinson did not also come back from the album. Instead, David Essex was cast as Che.
Yeah. Okay.
Which you can see fits a little bit more with what they were going for.
Yeah.
Other cast members included Josh Ackland as Perron, Sobian. Siobhan, thank you. Siobhan McCarthy, who was the original West End Donna in Mamma Mia, as the Perron's mistress.
Yeah.
And rehearsals, from all I can tell, went pretty well. There's no major kerfuffles. It was just working this show out, and then it opened at the Prince Edward Theatre on the 21st of June, 1978, and closed on the 18th of February, 1986, after 3,176 performances. So decent run. Like, people, the Brits were liking it.
Yeah.
The production won the Olivier Awards for Best New Musical, Best Actress in a Musical for Elaine Page.
Of course.
But it lost for Best Director and Best Actor for David Essex. So, too bad, Hal Prince. Don't worry, he gets his victory in the
It's
end.
okay, Hal. You'll get like 20 more.
Yeah. Exactly.
You'll even have a whole thing dedicated to you at the Met.
It's true. They're doing a whole special exhibit just for you, Hal. So we miss you. The original Broadway production starred the now famous Patti LuPone.
Patti LuPone.
This was her big break, and as she talks about in her famous, wonderful memoir, she was actually out filming the notoriously awful Spielberg film 1948, where she has a small little cameo role.
Oh, wow.
But she was doing that, and they had to fly back to New York in the winter to do this audition, and she was soaked from having to stomp through the snow, so she was pissed off. And when she got to the theater, she saw there was a white line on the stage, and she thought, oh, that's just them saying don't cross the line. So she was so pissed off and angry at the world that she just stepped right over the line and belted out those songs in full anger and venom. And then she got stuck in New York, and there was a big issue there, and so her flight got canceled. And the next day, to get back, she didn't rebook because she didn't know to rebook at the time. She was young.
Yeah.
So not everybody knows that. So everybody, just so you know, when your plane is canceled, you don't just automatically get rebooked for a flight. You have to do that yourself. So do that. But do you know who saved her and got her back to LA in time to shoot her cameo scene?
Hal Prince.
No. Superman, Christopher Reeve, because they were Juilliard friends, and he was coming through the airport, and he was able to get her on a flight.
No way.
Mm-hmm. Read her memoir,
sweet.
Autumn. Read Patti LuPone's memoir.
I wish I had time.
Do the audiobook. Do the
time.
audiobook. You can listen to it on the way to and from Muskoka to Toronto. And Patti LuPone narrates it too, so it's great.
I'll listen to that.
That's fantastic.
Is there I feel like there's a story
of what?
that when she was doing Evita, she went off stage and someone said to her, "You better sharpen up."
Oh yeah, I'll get into that.
Okay.
So Patty's issue was she struggled with the vocal stamina for the role. Like,
really,
it was a tough slog for her because she went to Juilliard, but it wasn't a musical theater program. It was a play. It was theater, a play. So vocally, she never been properly taught how to sing to maintain the voice. So she kept bursting blood vessels in her throat.
Really?
Because something I learned when reading her book was when she went to the throat doctor, turns out women during their time of the month, their throat blood vessels become engorged, and when they're singing, it can pop, which then fills the voice box with blood, which then makes it tough to sing. And that's why a lot of back in the day female opera singers could cancel performances during that time because vocally they could wreck their voice.
No way.
And that's why Patti had to go get the blood vessels in her throat cauterized. So it wouldn't happen.
No shit. Wow.
You can learn a lot from this book that she wrote. It's fantastic. You have to do the audiobook, Autumn. Like, do it. It's worth it. You do a 5-hour trek from Muskoka to Toronto. It's an 8-hour book. You'll finish it.
I can do it in 2 days.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It tracks her whole career from childhood to 2000 Needs Gypsy, and everything in between, from her historical accounts from Fantine and Les Mis to Sunset Boulevard and all the trials and tribulations like Weber put her through in that hellhole, to Evita, to her time on TV as Libby Thatcher in Life Goes On. And, it's great. It's fantastic. I've done the amount of times I've read that book and done the audiobook.
You're hilarious.
I even brought that book over to London with me when I saw her in company and got her to sign it.
No, you did not. Did she sign it?
Yeah, I have it in my room. I'll show you.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
She signed my book, which I love. But either way, Patti LuPone struggled with it vocally, and so she repeatedly was out of the previews. So she would go and do a show, and then she would blow her voice and get terrible reviews. People saying she didn't sound right, like it didn't sound good, and so her standby was always going on. And the chorus eventually, because they thought Patti was being a bit of a diva, because during rehearsal she notoriously told the British actors from the West End show, "I'm not Elaine Page, stop telling me what she did." So she kind of got her back up a bit, because she's like, no, like, let me discover the role for myself. Don't tell me what Elaine did and just expect me to repeat it. I will learn the role myself. And they kind of didn't like that. So they thought she was a bit of a diva. So they started posting these standbys great reviews in the chorus dressing room against her bad reviews. So not the nicest cast. But either way, lots of trials and tribulations. Read the book. But she repeatedly lost her voice through the Los Angeles and San Francisco previews before heading to Broadway. And Lloyd Webber even has a note saying that she needed to improve her diction. Because they thought
he says that in his memoir.
Yes, he does.
That her diction is terrible.
That he wants her to improve it for the Broadway run. So, and then also Patti LuPone talks all about how the ghost of Ava came to her repeatedly throughout the show run, like the fact that the very famous Patti shot of her doing the famous V with her hands with the head tilted was actually something you actually could find a picture of Ava doing the same pose.
Oh, that's great.
And it came from so there's a lot of times where like the ghost of Ava apparently was watching over Patti as she thinks. So very cool. Eventually the show would led her to her first Tony Award. And she even went on to reprise the role of Ava in Australia after completing her run on Broadway because the Australian actress who was performing the role lost her voice to the part. So, there you go. Other notable members of the cast include Mandy Patinkin.
I love Mandy Patinkin.
I do too. My dad and I just saw him in concert in Toronto, and it was magical.
So many people.
And for people who don't know, he is a theater and screen legend with Homeland, Criminal Minds, Princess Bride. So good. And then...
But more than that, he was like
I know.
George in Sunday in the Park
Sunday in the Park with George, and he was in Secret Garden.
Secret Garden as Archibald Craven.
The other big name of the show was Bob Gunton, who played Perron. And do you know what he has been in that you may know?
No.
Did you ever watch Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
He plays the evil warden.
No.
Warden Norden.
Oh.
That is him. He's a big stage, and he does a lot of plays, and he's done a lot of screen, but his big role is as the villainous warden in Shawshank.
Patti LuPone does not like Lloyd Webber.
Oh, hell no.
No. He talks about her diction.
Yeah.
This is from the New York Times magazine. And he says, oh, her diction is terrible, terrible. And she says, well, I'm an emotional, organic actor, and sometimes that gets in the way of me technically speaking clearly. So the fact that criticism of my diction follows me around makes total sense. And then she's like, was Andrew Lloyd Webber talking about Sunset Boulevard? And the interviewer said he was talking about Evita. And she's like, how could he be talking about Evita? The whole thing is sung. He's a jerk. He's a sad sack. He is the definition of a sad sack. Oh, trust me. Just wait till you read about what happened with her in Sunset. Like, she does not like that man at all. Back to production notes. Yeah. The production opened on Broadway at the Broadway Theater on the 25th of September 1979 and closed June 26, 1983 after 1,567 performances and 17 previews. Yeah. The show was initially not well received by critics as they thought the musical was about a Nazi sympathizer promoting Nazi ideology and fascism. Who's the Nazi sympathizer?
Ava, the Perrons, they let Nazis in to Argentina. Like, that was a whole thing. Like, they were very well, and also just the fact, look at the government they ran. Like, they were fascists, like, point blank. Historically speaking, they weren't for democracy. They, like, Perón even says in his one song, it sucks that we have to get have elections for our causes. Like, it's easier just to say it and do it versus having to win elections every time. Like, they're fascists. Like, as much as I think they're great, they're interesting people, their government destroyed the people of Argentina who opposed them. They shut down newspapers. They were very...
Sounds like Donald Trump.
But so some of the critics thought they were fascists. But the musical was proved popular with audiences, and the musical went on to win an Outer Critics Circle Award for Best Lyrics for Tim Rice. So Tim Rice is always like, I don't know why I got this award. Like, if you didn't like my lyrics when you first saw it, like, why are you giving me this award? Yeah. But the show itself at the Tonys won Best Musical, Best Actress for Patti LuPone, Best Featured Actor for Mandy Patinkin, Best Director for Hal Pearce. So there you go, Hal. You did get your directing award for the Evita. Best Score and Best Book for Rice and Lloyd Webber, respectively. And speaking of Donald Trump, apparently, according to a recent documentary I watched about Ava in the musical, is Evita is President Trump's favorite musical, and he saw it multiple times in its original Broadway run. He loved the idea of the underdog story of someone rising to the top against all odds.
Of course, who doesn't love that?
Yeah, but there also is something about her rising in politics as well.
Absolutely.
And I can see why Trump would like this show.
But he didn't have to rise. He was born into money.
Yeah,
there was no
I
rise.
know. I'm waiting if he does get reelected, God help us. But just watch his second.
He's going to be impeached.
In the House, but not in the Senate. The Senate won't. He controls the Senate. McConnell and his lackeys control the Senate.
Yeah, but if he's impeached, he's impeached. He's got to get out.
No, because if you're impeached in the House, you still have to be the trials then brought to the Senate, which is why Clinton was impeached in the House, but he wasn't evicted. There's been actually no president who has been impeached has ever actually had to has actually ever had the case win in the Senate to have them removed from office. Either way, but you can see why this. So if he does get reelected, God help us, but he will end up singing "Don't Cry for Me, America" on the steps of the White House as his inaugural speech.
Don't cry for yourselves.
That's what we should have had the gentleman who did his Trump impression for us.
Oh,
for that audition, we should have him sing "Don't Cry for Me" as Trump.
That would have been brilliant.
Either way. The other big thing about this musical is that it was adapted into a film starring the wonderful Madonna as Ava, and Antonio Banderas in one of his first kind of big Hollywood roles as Che, and the fantastic Jonathan Pryce.
We love Jonathan Pryce.
Perron. The film was directed by Alan Parker, who originally wanted to make a film version of Les Miserables with Colm Wilkinson. But that fell through.
That would have been a novel idea.
Mm-hmm. But that fell through, so he turned his efforts to Evita.
It's great, too.
Yeah.
He could have done both.
He could have.
Alan Parker.
He could have. The other actresses, so the role of Ava, once again, was in hot pursuit of people to play it. Some of the big names who were going for the role include Michelle Pfeiffer, who you actually can find her demo.
It seems crazy, but you must believe there's nothing calculated, nothing planned. Please forgive me if I seem naive. I would never want to force your hand, but please understand I'd be good for you. I don't always rush in like this. 20 seconds after saying hello, telling strangers I'm too good to miss. If I'm wrong, I hope you'll tell me so, but you really should know I'd be good for you. I'd be surprisingly good for you.
No.
Meryl Streep was
No.
and Glenn Close.
No.
Were all vying for the role.
And no.
Madonna.
I never want to see. I love Meryl Streep,
but not in a musical.
I never want to see her in another musical ever again. I don't want to see Glenn Close in a musical. Guys, please just cast Patti LuPone or Elaine Page again. Although this alternative actually for this movie worked.
Yes, because Madonna, who heavily campaigned for the role, even writing a letter to Parker, the director, listing the reasons why he should cast her in the part. So she even went and took more singing lessons so she could improve her range to try and hit some of those Ava notes.
She's not a great singer. Madonna is,
but she did something. She did really well with this part. I will say this. Out of all the roles,
it's her.
Yeah.
She is Evita Peron.
Yeah.
She's that self-made,
go-getter
scrappy,
woman.
I'm going to climb. I'm going to achieve. she's a businesswoman.
Yeah.
What Madonna is.
She's a brand. She's branded herself.
She is a master of business. Like, the talent is secondary in a big way.
Yeah.
She knew how to market herself.
Yeah. So the film was shot in Argentina.
Nice.
And Madonna was the one who had to go speak to the president to help secure the rights to actually go film on the real Casa Rosada, the Pink Palace, where Eva did do her famous speeches from. So basically, Madonna went into the president's office after he had denied the film crew access.
Great.
And she did something and made it happen.
Because she's Madonna.
Yeah. So that's why you cast her.
Like,
so they filmed the scenes at the Casa Rosada with 4,000 extras.
yeah,
Many older extras who actually were present for the real Eva speeches because they were kids at the time.
Amazing.
Who have now grown.
I love that.
And the film itself received mixed to negative reviews, with many calling it bland and boring, which I don't get.
I don't either.
And the film only won the Oscar for Best Original Song for "You Must Love Me," which we'll get into.
How did I come to this, little beast?
Yes.
I mean, I think we had the concept album.
Great.
But I was a huge musical theater kid, so
You would have found it either way.
I found it. I used to listen to these things on my tape player in the car, my little Chevette.
Your little Chevette.
And I would just sing along. That we did it in Oshawa, but I don't. Have I ever seen another live version of this? I don't know.
Ooh.
I think maybe I must have. Maybe not though.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one that I've always gone to. I love this musical, and I'm glad you chose it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes. Okay. For me,
Let me guess.
What?
Let me guess.
Okay.
Stage Heroes.
Stage Heroes.
Como Consens thing.
No.
No?
This is the Andrew Lloyd Webber Gold.
Oh,
So
so close.
it's true. Same compilation CD, but on that one it had the "Oh What a Circus"
Yeah.
with David Essex and "Don't Cry for Me" with Julie Covington.
Yes. I had that as well.
Right?
Yes.
And so it was funny. So the first time I ever saw anything of it was when the film came on the Disney Channel Saturday Night Movie, and we had our family friends were over, and they called all of us down and said, "Come down here. There's something on you should watch." And the movie had just started, so we haven't missed anything.
So funny.
And it was Evita. And so sure enough, we all sat through the 3-hour long film, and me being glued.
Yeah.
Also trying to figure out where the heck I'd seen Jonathan Pryce, because I was like, I know his face.
Yeah.
Turns out it was because I just seen Pirates of the Caribbean, and
yeah.
he's in that. So either way, we watched that. But the big joke was at the end, we all were just like waiting for Eva to die because it just drags on and on and on. And I remember all of us just chuckling because we were like, "Is she dead? Oh no, not yet. We got another like." Camera shot of her lying there with the candle, like, let's go. Like, it just goes like that. That's a part of the show where it needs to be tightened up a bit. But I remember watching that, and so I actually went out with my allowance money and bought the CD of the film recording because we love that.
Yeah.
And then I saw the Stratford production they did of it with Juan Caron. Juan Caron as Perón, Josh Young as Che, and Shalina Kennedy as Ava. However, I saw her on a Sunday matinee, and she was out sick. And you hear the whole audience do the classic, at this performance, the role of Ava, usually performed by Shalina Kennedy, we play by, I forget who was her understudy, but you hear the audience just go, oh.
No.
Like, it was the last show we were seeing that 2 weeks into the Stratford Shakespeare School, and this was the one I was, like, dying to see, because they had Kiss Me Kate there that year. They had, we'll talk about Kiss Me Kate.
Please let's not.
I think that was also the year of the Scottish play with Comfior and Cyrano de Bergerac.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a few hits, there are a few misses. They did Julius Caesar that year too. But I was dying to see Ava because they had done Superstar the previous year. The next year was Superstar. They did Evita first.
Let's find out who
was directing that.
Understudy.
Shalina Kennedy and Evita.
Lindsay Roxel.
All right. Lindsay, you were great. You proved you could do it. Fun stuff. Okay, so Autumn, let's move on to the top 3 songs of the musical. What is your number 1, Autumn?
My number 1. Oh, this is hard. I'm going to say A Waltz for Ava and Che.
There is evil, ever a run fundamental system of government quite incidental.
So what are my chances of honest advances? I'd say low. Better to win by admitting my sin than to lose with the halo.
That almost made me list. That's like a number 4 for me. I love it.
The reason why I love it is they're both so complicated.
Yes.
So alike.
Yes.
One has made it. One is dying to make it.
And one will. Well, and Che is on his way to becoming as famous as Ava in his own right.
I don't know if he ever realizes his own fame, whereas she does.
Yes.
So I don't think he would realize that he would be on T-shirts.
True.
For years to come.
Yes, which people people please don't wear Che Guevara T-shirts. Like he wasn't a good person in history. Like what he did in Cuba.
Yeah.
Not great. Him and Fidel Castro, what they did to that country.
But they're complicated.
They're complicated people, but I just go, we idolize, we have him on T-shirts, but I just go, he's not the figure to have on your T-shirts.
Well, he was a revolutionary.
Yeah.
Apparently for the people.
Apparently, but I don't know.
But debatable.
Yeah, but that whole song, like, it's just great because it's 2 people. It's almost like anything you can do, I can do better. Where they're going at it with each other, and it's like I can see both sides of your argument here. Where it's like,
you're just a reflection.
Yeah,
it's like they're each other's angel and devil
in
any given moment because they are literally the exact same person.
Yeah,
they're so similar.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the reason why they just they're in debate.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it. I love this song.
My sister and I used to sing that in the car all the time.
Oh, yeah. Like,
because it's just great. It's do, and then
tell me before you get onto your high horse, just what
you expect me to do. I don't care what the bourgeoisie say. Like once again, Tim Rice with those zinger lyrics that just they just get you right. It's like, let's see what other good lyrics there are.
Well, they're just both, they're so scrappy.
Yeah, well, they both come from that. They both come from that background of, tell me before.
Act 2 arguably is way better.
Yeah, well, it's because Ava's now in power, and you see her really just taking the reins of things. But there's so many great things. Yeah. Like you have, tell me before I waltz out of your life, before turning my back on the past. Mm-hmm. Forgive my impertinent behavior, but how long do you think this pantomime can last?
Yeah.
Like, who gets impertinent and pantomime into lyrics and makes that sound
Tim
good?
Rice.
Only him. But then there's like, there is evil ever around the fundamental system of government, quite incidental. And then Ava says, so what are my chances of honest advances? I'd say low. Better to win by admitting my sin than to lose with a halo. And I hate to say it, but Trump is like living that. Where like he's full on admitted what he did in the Ukraine. Rudy Giuliani's admitted it too, but he goes, I'm going out like...
Well, what did you want me to do?
Yeah.
It's something he does very well. He's very honest. Like, he'll admit that he's an idiot.
Yes.
And he's made his choices the way he wanted to make them. There's been he will not apologize.
No.
For anything he has done to Klein.
Yes.
So, she's like, the same.
Absolutely. And it's, there's so many great lyrics in there. We just sing the damn song.
He's entitled. And
he
is.
She
wasn't.
Well,
that's different.
She comes into,
she became entitled.
Yeah. After moving through the ranks, yeah.
Yeah. But she wasn't entitled.
Not at the beginning, but yeah.
No, Patti LuPone is also this. I mean, at the age of 4, Patti LuPone was like, I know what I want to do, I'm not going to be in the chorus.
No. Yeah, well, she was Louise and Gypsy at the Patio Players. Like
you go, girl.
Like she knew what she wanted, and
she
you're
knew
right.
What she wanted.
Yeah, she was going for it.
Unapologetically got it.
Like if you follow Patty's career, like all through Julia, where everybody underestimated her and put her down, like like what she went through, and then the fact she just comes back fighting. It's like she is Eva.
She has a very unique look.
Yes.
She has a very unique sound.
Well, she's like
could
mermaid.
Limit her.
Yep, but it doesn't.
But she used it to her advantage.
Yeah.
And, talk about someone, I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier, at The Ordinary. When you are born looking extraordinary, how boring your life must be, because you don't have to work. Everyone just goes, oh, here's everything. And when you're born kind of into money at the same time as well, your work ethic is different.
Yeah.
Right? And Patti LuPone knew she was going to have to, she was tough.
Yeah.
She was resilient.
Yes. Absolutely.
So there you go.
Yeah. Great choice, Autumn. Waltz for Geneva.
Yes.
My number one is Don't Cry for Me, Argentina.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance.
Also great. I can't dispute that.
Like, it is the pinnacle of the show. It is the pinnacle of the show. It is like the 11 o'clock number, but it's at the top of Act 2.
Yeah.
And it captures politics perfectly, where they're speaking words to you and they're empty. They're empty words that are just trying to catch that soundbite with the masses. Like you watch the Democratic debates now, and everybody's just trying to get that soundbite that the media will spin for you.
Well, it's like watching Stephen Lecce try to defend his choices as the education minister.
Yeah, that too.
I'm like, you're joking.
Yeah. But it's just, this song is so good. And this song, like even Lloyd Webber says, it's all lies. Like, it's just...
all of politics is lies.
It's true. It's just a soulless shell of a song, but yet people, like, audiences have bought into it over the years. People love the song, including us. But it's like, what's it really saying? Nothing. It's really like just a hollow victory for Ava, where she's orchestrated this perfect moment of herself on the Casa Rosada in the white dress. Like, just...
it's optics.
Yeah, optics. Like, she played the optics, and it's her moment of triumph in the show. Because after that, it just descends for her. Like, she gets sick very quickly.
Yeah.
Che talks about it in High Flying Adore, where he goes, "Where do you go from here? You've reached
it's the sales
the
pitch, right?
the top of your ladder. Like, you're like, there's only one way to go, honey, and it's down the ladder."
See, this is not my favorite song because it's kind of BS. Like, it's...
but that's what I love about it. It's BS, but it's so well written BS. Like, Rice's lyrics once again are so good. Like it's just her.
It's a fun job.
Yes.
But it's amazing. Like, as a piece of propaganda,
it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
But it also makes me stop and go, are we so gullible?
Yep.
The answer is,
yes.
Looking at the state of our politics.
We are.
And it goes back to what we were saying in Parade, is people buy into this notion of tradition and hearing what they want to hear, rather than exercising full judgment. Yeah. Not even good judgment, just full judgment. On what they what the facts are. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And what I love about this song is the audience is in on this con moment of the show.
Yeah.
Where she says, like, and as for fortune and as for fame, I never invited them in. But we all go, you totally did. You sought that out the minute you got to Buenos Aires. And you moved your way right up the rungs to get there. And the audience, but at the same time, we're struggling with those opposites where we go, we know what you're saying is false, but at the same time, we're like the people around the Casa Rosada who are cheering you on. Because we're all watching your life story and going, yes, if you can do it, I can do it. Right? And it's so great. It's so great. I love it. I wish somebody would do this as like an inaugural speech, or use it as part of their inaugural, like, or part of their campaigns, because it would work. Like, I get Rice to rewrite some of the lyrics, like "Don't Cry for Me, Canada." That's just like begging to be somebody's political song.
I am dying to hear that. I really am.
Like it's so good. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. What's your number 2?
The Rainbow High.
I came from the people, they need to adore me. So Christian Dior me, from my head to my toes. I need to be dazzling, I want to be rainbow high. They must have excitement, and so must I.
Rainbow Tour.
Franco's rain in Spain should see out the 40s. So you've just acquired an ally who looks as secure in his job as you.
But more important, current political thought is the wife's a phenomenal asset, your trump card.
Let's hear it for the Rainbow Tour. It's been an incredible success. We weren't quite sure, we had a few doubts. Will Evita win through? But the answer is yes.
That is my number 3, but I love it. It's Rice at his best.
It's so good.
Like, so many great lines there where it's like, I'm their savior, that's what they call me, so Lauren, but call me. Anything goes.
I need to be dazzling.
I need to be, or it's like, I came from the people, they need to adore me, so Christian Dior me. Oh my goodness, like his lyrics, like this is
like
where Rice...
Taking someone out of the gutter and throwing some perfume and some nice clothing on.
Yeah, well, she almost becomes like Marie Antoinette in that moment, where like, especially in the film version with Madonna, where you see her going through all these outfits. It's like, I can see why eventually people started turning on you, because you going for all this, like, unfortunately she bought into her own hype and just kind of let herself get dragged.
Hubris always has a big fall.
It's true, but the song is just, and the Rainbow Tour, it's great because once again it's exposition, but it's done in a fun way.
It's great,
where it's Perron watching her via like a film clip of what she's up to, and I love the one line of where she's meeting with the Admiral.
Oh yeah.
And she goes, "They call me a whore. I can't believe they actually call me a whore." And then he goes, "It's an easy mistake."
Yeah, whatever.
I'm still called an admiral, even though I long left the sea.
Did you hear that? They called me a whore. They actually called me a whore.
But Senora Perron, it's an easy mistake. I'm still called an admiral, yet I gave up the sea long ago.
It's like,
He's trying to make it better and just stay in the grave.
Yeah, but
right?
but then it's also like the Pope denied a visit. Oh, but she got some rosary beads, so hey. And hey, Mussolini, he's going to be in the round for the next like 10 years. So hey, we're going to be best buddies here.
We're going to be fine. We're going to be
fine.
Oh,
sorry, not Mussolini, Franco.
Yeah.
But it's like, like once again, it's that dark side of politics where the machinations of this country, of Ava and Juan are just they're you can see them laying the groundwork for the future, but unfortunately that future gets snapped out from under them.
Yeah.
But you can see them in the Rainbow Tour and Rainbow High, where they're just building that world for themselves that they've worked. That at the end of Act 1 they talk about in New Argentina, which we'll get to.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, what is your number 3?
I'm looking it up right now.
Do you want me to do mine then?
Yes.
Okay, mine.
New Argentina.
It is. It absolutely is. Once again, it's a song showing Ava's puppet mastering of Perron in getting them into power, and just how good she is at working the Descamisados and whipping them up into a mob basically that gets Perón out of prison, and at the same time you have Perón's thugs who are removing obstacles. Like they say to Che, we have ways of making you vote for us, or at least or having you abstain, and it's like. Like there, and then as we talked about Perón's great line of, it's annoying we have to fight elections for our causes, the inconvenience having to win the majority.
Yeah,
like it's just great. Like
it's politics.
It's politics,
but it's like one day more.
It's one day more.
It's a great way to end that.
It is, and especially when we watch the Tony Awards where they all come out with the torches and the Eva signs.
Yeah, and
also Patty missing Bob Gunton's arm when she tries to link up with them.
Oh yeah,
and she just misses and just does a right down to the side. But her coming out dead stage center, just doing the "He supports you, for he loves you, understands you, is one of you. He supports you, for he loves you, understands you, is one of you. If not,
How could he love me?
Oh, that's good.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Like it just goes, and once again, it's the phrase "A New Argentina" is eerily similar to "Make America Great Again."
Oh, 100%.
And
it's a slogan
it's-
of all slogans.
It is, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, and we know what Evita is. She's a fascist, but it's like we still buy into her concept of the new Argentina that everybody's talking about.
Well, of course we do, because she's a convincing fascist.
Mm-hmm. And
Much like Donald Trump to many people.
yes, where he said, "We'll make America
Or
great again."
Doug Ford.
And
He's also a convincing fascist.
yeah, but unfortunately, he didn't have a good slogan like Ava and Trump.
Well,
and once again, which makes
he
me
doesn't
think,
have a brain like
no,
Ava or Trump either.
but it makes
It's a
me think
privileged
about
story.
when Trump was doing his campaign. Was he thinking about Evita? Because we know it's his favorite show. Was he thinking
Maybe.
about, hey, a new Argentina? What can I say that's similar that will connect to these people?
America great again.
Like, as much as I hate those hats that people wear, the mega hats, it works. Like, people buy into that whole idea of returning to former glory.
And look at it, makes a nice little acronym.
Yes,
MAGA.
Yes, and with the new Argentina, it's not. It's Ava saying it's the dark side of politics again, where you have the politicians saying, coming and going, I'm not going to be like those past people. We're going to do a new world.
Yeah.
Much like Obama, where he came in and said we're going to make the world anew, and it's like, oh, it's taking that idea of people and just whipping them in another way. It's politics. It's great, and this song is fantastic. And as I said, it's a great, and as you said, it's a great Act 1 closer. Where at the end you're like, yeah, let's go off into Act 2. Oh crap, she's gonna die, and
which leads me to my third song,
which is
the Lament.
Remember, I was very young then, and a year was forever and a day. So what use could 50, 60, 70 be? I saw the lights and I was on my way. Oh, how I lived, how they shone, but how soon the lights were gone.
which one is that?
The choice.
Oh yes. Okay, I like that. There's another part of her death I don't.
I could have any prize that I desire.
See, that part I like. Like her and her final broadcast are great.
I could burn with the
brightest fire.
Yeah, or else I could choose time. So good,
and it's so true. Of all those people who die young, like I'm sure Kennedy, if he could talk, I wonder if he would say the same thing, where he would go, "I went out early, but the legacy, what I did in my time,
people will remember me."
Yes. I gave some great speeches. I did some things for civil rights. I got us through the Cold War.
That's why Assassins as a musical is so good.
Stay tuned for season 4.
Because they will be remembered.
They will, and it's one of those things. Yeah. Well,
what do you want your legacy
yeah.
to be?
And
is it to just be remembered, or is it to be remembered for
certain
being a fascist?
Well, see, that's the thing where I don't think Ava saw herself as an evil fascist. She was someone who went, I took the power and I did
what I thought I had to do.
And on top of that, like for the part of it, like there are still people who love Perón and Eva in Argentina. Like there are people who adore them and go, I learned to write because every day in class I had to write Eva loves me in my notebook, and that taught me how to read and write. And like there's certain things they do, and it's great, but at the same time we know she also squashed a lot of people in her way to get to power.
Yes.
But oh my goodness, yeah, the lament, it's a great ending. It's almost like almost like Fantine's death from Les Mis, where it's that on the deathbed, sing a great song.
Patti LuPone lamenting all the time.
And it's funny because she wanted to play the original Fantine in Les Mis in the West End. She did. She was the OG Fantine, and she played Nancy in Oliver briefly with Ron Mooney before it closed.
Oh, that's interesting.
But once again, she was like, I was tired of playing crying and dying roles. Because she played 3 of them in a row, and I'm like, I don't blame you, honey. Like you had a lot of death on you there for a bit.
There's a lot of crying and dying.
Yeah, but it's so good. It's a great death song.
There's never any men crying and dying.
No, Valjean's got a good death song.
But he's not crying.
He could be crying if you directed it that way.
I suppose. I find crying infinitely boring to watch on stage.
Well, that's true. It's like it's like what you say. Make it 10 years past the moment. Make it, you've lived it. You're moving forward.
I just find it boring. It releases all your energy.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go. Well, there's one place to go. You die. So that's the only time you're allowed to cry. Right before you die. Done.
Exactly.
Done.
But yes, fantastic.
It's a great show.
Yeah,
it is
Lament.
Really...
Now, there are 3 songs I don't like.
Oh.
Do you have 3?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 1 is the montage.
Santa, Santa Evita, Madre de todos los niños, de los tiranizados, de los pescadores.
Sing your poem, but you got it wrong. Enjoy your prayers, but you haven't got long. The queen is dead, your king is through. She's not coming back to you.
Madre de todos los niños, de los tiranizados, de los pescadores.
Sing your fools, but you got it wrong. Enjoy your prayers, but you haven't got long. The queen is dead, your king is through. She's not coming back to you.
Which takes place right before the lament. Basically, it's a recap of the entire goddamn show.
Okay.
And and you have apparitions of Magaldi coming in doing the Eva, beware of the city, and you got the chorus going Santa, Santa Evita, do 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 do. And it's like, I don't need a recap. It's already a long freaking show. We've had a great moment with the final broadcast. Just let her die. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Move it along here, people.
Yeah,
the montage can go. I'm sure it's a How Prince of Why was in there as like a cool stage one where you have them moving around her and seeing her life flash before her eyes. Yeah. But it's like, okay, people, move forward.
Amazing.
Kill it.
I agree. Kill it.
Mm-hmm. What's next for you?
Please, dear Lord, just get rid of Magaldi.
I like Magaldi.
I hate him. He's slimy.
Yeah, but he's such a great character because you need him. You need him for her to get out of Junín. You need him for that story, and also it's great when he comes back at the relief concert and he goes, Ava, your act hasn't changed that much, and she goes, neither has yours, and it's like they're both zinging each other, and they're both using each other, which is great. And that's
fine.
And you need him for the plot, and plus also he's got the great line of Ava, beware of the city.
Well, that's fine.
It's hungry and cold, can't be controlled.
Keep that. Keep Ava, beware of the city.
Yeah.
Just please,
on this night of 1,000 stars.
On this night of 1,000 stars, let me take you to heaven's door, where the music of love's guitars place forevermore.
That song I do find gets a little bit redundant, but I think that's the point of it. It's meant to be a generic, like there's a reason why he only sings that one song repeatedly throughout the show when you see him, and it's because he's a general Joe Schmo guy with a guitar.
But that's not interesting.
Yeah, but we move on from him pretty damn quickly.
I know, but that's why we don't need it.
Yeah.
Like I find him a generalization, almost a caricature of what they think a South American singer is, rather than.
Oh, absolutely, and then also because we don't really know how Eva got out of Junín to Buenos Aires.
I'd rather hear her sing a song about her climb.
That could work. I don't know.
That would be like a counterpart for a waltz with Eva and Che with a bunch of other people.
Her family, maybe.
Her family, other men.
Yeah.
How she got to where she is.
Or you know what? Just start the show with McGalvey getting ready to leave for Buenos Aires after his concert, and you just get right into Eva Beware of the City.
Sure.
Which works for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. Next for me is I'd Be Surprisingly Good for You.
I'm not talking of a hurried night, a frantic tumble, then a shy goodbye, creeping home before it gets too light. That's not the reason that I caught your eye, which has to imply I'd be good for you. I'd be surprisingly good for you.
Oh, I like it. It's flirty.
It's boring. It's such a. I don't feel any heat in this song.
There's not.
No, it's just cold and.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, but,
I don't think they have a relationship based on love.
I do.
No.
I think. Well, maybe it's the direction, because in the film version with Jonathan Pryce's Perron, you can see, and that's why that song "You Must Love Me" is such a great addition, because it shows in that moment, oh, he does love Ava, not just because of her political machinations, and Ava realizing, oh crap, somebody actually loved me. They're not just using me for their game.
That in, but yeah.
But the song itself, like, it's just kind of like, this is their moment. Like, this is the iconic duo of the show.
I think it's
give
flirty.
them a little bit more.
I think it's flirty, and I think their rewards are cyclical. I don't think she's the only one that benefits from this.
Oh heck no! He knows what he's getting into because he knows her history.
It's a deal.
He knows that she lies when he says, "Are you here on your own?" And she does the yes. It's like right there, you know that she's buying into you because she sees where you're going, and he knows if she can move up the ranks like she has, then clearly she's got some brain to her.
Well, and that's also sexy.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's lust, and maybe it grows into love, but I think they know that it's a business deal.
Absolutely.
Their relationship is a business deal.
Yeah.
And I find that surprisingly sexy.
I love to see how you would direct this particular song.
That would be very sexy.
Because musically it's cold, and you need to do something directorially to make it fascinating. Because we've had so many great numbers up to this point, whether it's the Good Night and Thank You, Buenos Aires, all those types of songs, and then you get to this and it's like cold water being chucked on the heat of the show. It's like,
I don't know. I think it's just in the way you do it.
That's true. Could be.
I like it.
Okay.
Like it. My last one, however, is Another Suitcase in Another Hall.
Call in 3 months' time and I'll be fine. I know. Well, maybe not that fine, but I'll survive anyhow. I won't recall the names and places of this sad occasion, but that's no consolation. Here and now, so what happens now?
Another suitcase in another
So what happens now?
Take a picture of another always have before.
Where am I going to?
Don't ask anymore.
That almost made this list.
Why? We don't
Need the
we
mistress.
don't need her.
See, I like what they did in the film version with Madonna singing that. Even though I know why they did it was because you give Madonna another damn song. But it works when it's Madonna singing after she's been rejected by Magaldi.
Take that up and replace
On This Night of 1,000 Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'd work. I could do it.
Yes.
I could see that.
And then you can keep it because who cares about Peron's mistress?
Yeah.
I don't.
She doesn't show up again in the show.
No. It's not even a plot device that's worth having in there.
No, I agree with that.
And it's a nice song, but it'd be so much more interesting to slightly alter the lyrics and have Evita sing it at the top of the show.
Mm-hmm. I like that. That could work.
Thank you.
I can see how that could work.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, what's your third one?
It's a tie.
Oh,
So,
hi.
yeah, I couldn't decide between the two, so I'll give both.
Okay.
The first one is The Art of the Possible.
Has no rules, is not precise. One rarely acts the same way twice. One spurns no device, practicing the art of the possible.
Which we briefly talked about it in the beginning of the episode.
I like
It's once again, it's slow and it's just guys in rocking chairs.
Yes, it's great.
I like slow songs, but they have to be. There has to be
It's him pegging them off one by one.
Yeah, but they don't do it in an interesting way. It's just rocking chair. It's not Perron sneaking up and stabbing him in the back. It's just and he gets up and he leaves, and he gets up and he leaves. And at the end, it's just Perron sitting rocking in the rocking chair, meaning he is won the game.
The one.
Yes, but it's just
That's great.
it's just kind of boring.
How I loved your vision. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I don't know. The other one is the Requiem at the beginning. It just becomes screeching. Requiem. It's like it just goes and goes.
Yeah.
It just becomes screaming by the chorus. And I'm like, I get it, Lloyd Webber. You like writing requiems for yourself.
He does. He does do that.
And it's ready to start with the funeral, but you start with what a circus. That's a great opening to the show.
Oh, no, a requiem is I think it's really
because it's just like
dum dum dum. It's great that beginning, the cinema with the.
I don't mind that part. I like the cinema,
and then it's like this big.
I know, but like just cut it short.
Morning.
I guess so, but cut it shorter. Just get to what a circus, because that's where the fun is. That's where it's like Che is basically looking at all this, going, "What the heck? This is a joke."
But you need the overdoing.
Oh, I guess
for him to go.
You need the opposite to show.
What a circus!
Yeah, I guess
for him to bring in that satire.
I guess
satirical
so.
voice. Yeah,
I don't know,
because it is. It's over the top. It's
well, the whole
OTT.
country went into mourning. Like it was like everything stopped, historically speaking, when she died.
When the queen dies.
Yeah, but the queen's earned that though.
Well,
I don't think Ava's earned it like the queen has.
She did though. She
won the people.
She showed that anything is possible.
I guess so. But it's that thing of, I get it. The Requiem it's something you need, but it's like, short it up, people. It just gets so big, so over the top, where it's just cacophonous. And it's like, people. Yeah, but other than that, great show. Fantastic. And Now we're on to the... Yes.
It should be.
Absolutely.
It's great political commentary.
Do it on the steps of the White House right now.
Sure. Absolutely.
Like, it's just so good. And it just talks about the idea of how politics can be manipulated to fit anybody, whether you're...
Well, it's kind of like that thing with Parade.
Yes.
Like, when you throw music onto an argument, anything is possible.
It's true. It's the art of the possible.
It's amazing that no one has thought of that in the Trump regime yet.
Don't give them ideas, Autumn. Don't give them ideas.
Or the Doug Ford. Actually, Doug Ford did do it. He came up with this little catchy
jingle
tune to go with let's make Ontario great or whatever. Mm-hmm. Ontario is awesome. And it played over and over on my videos, like my Netflix. I'm like, I'm going to kill someone because it's catchy.
And it's good.
And it's amazing. It's a piece of propaganda.
Yeah. Well, this whole musical is propaganda.
But
and it's great.
That's why Madonna was great.
Yes.
Because she is
propaganda.
She is a piece of propaganda.
Yeah.
And hey, man, kudos to her.
Yeah.
Because I cannot think of anyone more clever
than Madonna.
There are millions of talented people out there, naturally gifted, who think they're awesome but have not had to work for it. Mm-hmm. And therefore, they become redundant.
Preach.
They become redundant. And people who have to work for it, I think it's far more interesting.
Absolutely.
They're far more gifted in many ways. Mm-hmm.
So both of us agree, bring the show back.
Yeah.
It was just revived on Broadway, but bring it back again.
Do it again.
Can learn it
again and again.
Love it. Okay. Message from our dear composer Brody about his new album coming out. He's currently on Spotify. Father Floses, just hit over 1,000 listens for his first album, and he's got a new one coming up, coming in early 2020. A collab with producer Wavy Matt, and the project is called Wavy Flow. So stay tuned for that, everybody. Brody's fantastic. Just listen to it. It's got great lyrics as well. Autumn, where can they find you?
Autumn DM Smith on all social media platforms or at littlewoodsmith.com. Also Littlewood Smith at all social media platforms as well.
Perfect. And I'm at all social media platforms as Mackenzie Horner. Just look for the ginger guy there. Thank you again for listening, and we'll hopefully see you in a theater enjoying some musicals. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Goodbye.
Bye.
Evita Peron, the Santa of Argentina.
Have I said too much? There's nothing more I can think of to say to you. But all you have to do is look at me to know that every word is